Hello there, 3rd grade, 4th grade student. It's Miss Kirkham here. And I'm in my private detective hat for one reason and one reason only. I'm here to interrogate you. That's right, you, behind this screen. This week is a quiz week. Miss Kirkham, we've been talking about a lot of different types of lines inside of a show. There were 4 main ones that we talked about in last week's video. This week, you are going to be quizzed on those. Oh, man. Don't worry, I know you're going to do a great job with that quiz. But I want to help you out for just a moment. So we're going to go through them really fast. So if you're watching the video, good job. You're going to do a great job on the quiz. Because I'm throwing in some of our older terms too. Not just the new ones we've learned. Number 1, the person who writes a book is an author. But the person who writes a play is a... What could they be? A playwright. You should know that one, ladies and gentlemen. If you said it right, give yourself snaps. If you can't give yourself snaps, give yourself dancy hands, I guess. Dancy hands. Like a quiet round of applause. Okay? The next term, this. When 2 or more characters are speaking to each other on stage. That means it's not just Miss Kirkham. Maybe it's Miss Kirkham and her puppet friend Thomas. If 2 or more characters are both talking on stage, what is that called? Dialogue! Okay, Thomas. Dialogue is correct. Dialogue. All right. Well, what if Thomas is still on stage, but he doesn't talk back? It's just me. Oh, Thomas, you will never believe what my day was like. Oh, let me tell you about this. The Air Force had actual planes that went across the sky, and I got to sit outside and I got to watch them, and it was so cool. If I'm the only one saying this long speech and Thomas does not interrupt, he doesn't have any lines, or maybe Thomas is on the phone, and I'm speaking to him, that very, very long speech was called a monologue. Nice work. Okay. Well, I'm going to bring Thomas back here. Here we go, Thomas. What if we both have parts? Oh, hello. And I'm talking to Thomas, and I say something that he doesn't hear. So I say, "Hi, Thomas. I'm so glad to see you. I really hope you don't find out that I broke your favorite watch. How are you? Did anything new happen?" If he does not hear, I really hope that you do not hear that I broke your favorite watch. What is that called? An aside. Remember, you're saying it aside. Huh. Now, you do not actually have to physically turn your whole body and say it really weird. But we know that the other character on stage does not hear that. Okay, so there's one more. This one's kind of tricky. If I was saying something and I'm just saying my own feelings, I'm not really talking directly to another person per se, but I am expressing all of the feelings inside of my head. Like, oh, I cannot believe I'm so stressed right now. I have so much math homework and I cannot finish it and I don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm not talking to my mom and asking her for help. I'm just expressing the frustration inside of my head. Or, oh, I cannot wait. My birthday's almost here. And I'm just expressing the feelings inside of my head. It's just my inner dialogue inside of my head shooting out. What was that one called? A soliloquy starts with an S. So remember that those were the ones we learned last week. Oh, right, but I said I'd mix in some from before we were on quarantine break. So let's think through before we were on break, and let's add a couple more words. Okay? What was it called in Greek theater when they had happy stories? The stories that ended well. Comedy. What about a story that ends, not very many people make it, and it's quite sad? Tragedy. I hope that you're following along. I'm going to also throw in a few more pieces of this quiz to try and see if you can remember a few more things before we did break. But my last one to remind you today, there is a word for what a character wants. What a character wants on stage. We call that their objective, like a goal. Like maybe Miss Kirkham keeps following someone around and you're going, why does she keep following him? And it turns out that he's going to randomly give the first person he sees $1,000 for coffee. So my objective is to get that $1,000 for coffee. What would my motivation be? Why would I want that? Maybe because I love coffee. Maybe because I want to share coffee with the whole wide world. So objective, what someone wants. Motivation, why they want it. This week, your assignment is to be taking a quiz. Miss Kirkham, we don't have an acting challenge this week. You still do, but your acting challenge is optional. Your acting challenge this week is optional. Okay, my friends? Your acting challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to pick one of those 4 dialogue, monologue, soliloquy asides and to make a new one, or to make a whole scene that has moments of more than one. Maybe you write a scene that has an aside in it, and maybe you write a scene that has a monologue and an aside in it in the same scene. That's up to you. So your challenge, your super challenge, should you choose to accept it, is to write one of those 4 things and send Miss Kirkham your end results. But for right now, be thinking about this quiz and go take it before you forget. That's all for now. I hope you have a great week. Goodbye.